Welcome back, everybody, and just to remind you, the Prep Phase League is not an affiliate of Tryon Worlds Incorporated. Tryon Worlds is not an administrator of this tournament and assumes no responsibility for it, although they do provide some pretty sweet prizes, so thank you. And look who we have here, ladies and gentlemen. Pepper Titan has been replaced by his cooler alter ego, Pepper Shades Titan. How you doing?
Good. You were very, very warbled for me there. Hopefully that was just on my end. I am doing good, though. Ready for these finals, third, fourth place, and finals matches to begin.
Right, we're going to do that. Now, before we do, let's check if Arctic's available. Arctic is going to give us an interview for the last match. Unfortunately, we had to cut out for this audio, and we wanted Pepper Titan in here, but we should have Arctic in here in just a few seconds to give us a little bit of Vezzed Gaming's take on things. Okay, let's bring him right in. Here we have Arctic Monkey. Arctic Monkey, how you doing? Your microphone's muted, by the way, in case you...
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello, hello.
So congratulations on some tight games. I didn't think you guys were going to pull that last one out. But
Me neither at some point.
you made it all the way to the end. So quick, let's talk about those games featured some intense predictions. It seems like every time somebody stealth catalyst, I think there were 2 times they didn't get shot immediately the next turn, and like 5 other times where they did. Is that mathing out the squares? Is that you're just shooting at somebody else? Or how do you get so good on both teams at figuring out where these people are catalysting to?
We just know all the dash catalyst range, so we have always a good idea where they dash to. And yeah, that's it.
Seems pretty solid. So what about the change? A lot of people are wondering, who are asking us, isn't that Vex Gaming? Are you guys mispronouncing it? No, it is Vezzed Gaming right now, correct? And could you tell us a little bit about that change?
Okay, so the only reason we joined the Vexed Gaming community was so they could promote the Atlas Reactor game through their social media. They have thousands of followers on their Twitter. But after a while, they just stopped sharing posts about Atlas Reactor. They were not supporting the game at all. So we just decided to leave that Vexed community, and because our friend Zizi Rick got a custom emblem, 2 Zizis, we just decided to switch our team name from Vexed to Vezzed.
Easy, recognizable, still tells you you're different, but the same team. I like it a lot.
Yep.
Alright, so going into these finals you guys are in, you guys are facing some stiff competition here. How do you feel about this matchup? Do you feel it's another close one? You're the favorites? You're the underdog? What's going on?
It will be really close games for sure, but I think if we play our best, we will beat them. Solid
words. Anything from you, Pepper?
No, I mean you covered everything. I mean those matches were nail biters, and I just, no offense, but I want a game 3. So if you could just do me a favor and lose one of them, that'd be great.
Sure, we'll lose first game, no problem.
All right. I knew I could rely on you.
May not be up to you guys, but we'll see. We'll let you go. If you have anything else to say to the fans, the other teams coming up, do it now. Otherwise, good luck.
Yeah, just enjoy the games and have fun.
All right, thanks for being with us, Arctic.
Thanks for casting.
Arctic from Vezzed Gaming. So right now we're going to move into our 3rd and 4th place games, Midnight versus Identity Crisis. So let's make sure those are getting set up.
All right. I'm really excited. I mean, Identity Crisis, a lot of people I saw in the chat and I heard rumblings, they weren't the favorites going into the match against Rise Gaming, but they certainly sold their stuff and earned their spot here for this 3rd, 4th place.
Now, give me just a second to help. Yeah, I mean, as we kept saying, there's over 20 teams because we started with 20. We had some drop, we had some added. Over 20 teams. There's been some fierce competition. I'm not even sure that the third, fourth place game is any less skilled than the first, second place. These teams have all been super nail biters just to get into the finals, and I'm sure either of these third and fourth place could really take on. You know, we saw them fight both first and seconds so far and do really well. So I'm expecting a really good set of matches. Let's get this organized and underway here.
Man, I know I want to get right into it. I want to see who gets to take it home. And I'm still just, I cannot wait to see who gets picked for those skins.
All right, so give me just a second here. We've got to get these teams organized here. We do have a schedule available, but since in events like this,
I mean, we're organizing people all over the world for a world tournament.
yeah,
So
so
it's a little bit difficult to line everything up.
Unfortunately, with time zones and all that stuff. So let's see. Alright, so we'll double check and ping with them and make sure that we are all set to go. And get this done. Whew. And then we get a little bit of break to discuss improvements to this. So if you guys want to be part of next season, either as a player, as part of the prep phase staff, as if you want to help join us and help make this league better, or you just as a viewer, you want to get improvements, you want to get in that Discord pretty much now, because after this there'll be a short break where we discuss all sorts of ideas for improving next season, making it a better season, and just constantly making the experience more enjoyable, more competitive, really what we want out of a world championship.
And I know we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but now that we've got people hanging around, if you look up top, we do have a subscribe button now, and all subscriptions and bits will go towards improving the prizes for our players. Like Restart mentioned before, we're not getting paid. We are volunteers, and we just want to make it a better experience for the people playing. And yeah, we're just trying to get these matches set up.
All right, looks like we've got the match getting started now. We just have to get it underway. Some of the teams, I think, went and go get a snack or a drink here, and I realized the schedule wasn't super clear. Hopefully we'll get everybody back as soon as possible.
So I was surprised to see Meridian brought back after his a pretty underwhelming showing yesterday, and just it doesn't seem like anyone's really been able to make him work at this level of play, as they once again got really focused pretty much the whole match. And I mean, maybe he's just not going to work out. Maybe people need to figure out the better synergy. I think pairing him up with a more AoE focused support instead of a second single target support is what you need to do personally.
Yep. All right. Give me a second. Alright guys, we're gonna bump over to a bump screen for just a second as we get everything sorted out. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Apologize again for the delay. There was a mix-up with the schedule. Both teams thought they were scheduled at the same time. Unfortunately, since many of the teams can't play in the later slot, we're going to have to do both right now, which means we will only be able to watch the finals. The third, fourth games will be streamed and recorded from another player's perspective that you can go back and watch. If you check out our Discord, we'll provide links to that afterwards, so you can catch out that action. But for right now, we're only showing the finals. The third and fourth will happen at the same time. Won't be streamed by us, but again, in our Discord, we'll be able to provide links to that video later on. So that's how we're going to proceed from right on now. So as you can see, the bottom's changed. We're going straight to Vezzed versus Imperium, the finals, the World Championships, the top of the top. Whew, I'm excited.
I hope Arctic sticks to his promise and throws a game so we can have as many intense games as possible. Don't actually throw any games. That's probably against the rules.
Yes. I'm sure that nobody's actually throwing these games, considering how much is on the line. But, I mean, they're not pushovers, right? The Imperium, equally tough games all the way up. I wouldn't say either team's the really underdog right here. So we're still best of 3, if anybody's wondering. There's no rules changes for these finals. This is the format you know you love, you're ready for. You don't need to know anything else except that these are the top 2 teams in Atlas Reactor right now, and they're going to battle it out to see who is the number 1.
See who gets that bigger prize pack, those exclusive skins, and just the chance to make their mark on Atlas Reactor with the prep phase skin selection.
Yeah, that's true. Those are permanent marks now. They'll be making prep phase skins out of the characters that are chosen by the top team. And wow, I mean, you're immortalized in the game that you love to play and that you do so well at. There's not much more you can ask as a player.
Looks like Evos Lab is going to be our map pick.
Alright, so Evos is picked after Hyperforge is banned. We're ready to get into the pick ban phase. I hope they have it on the right side. So we have no more delays here. After a season, most of the teams have these down pat, but there's always nerves and jitters at the final day. There's something you have to remake or do at the end.
I mean, we haven't had a remake yet today, so...
We almost did.
Yeah, almost, but not quite. Knock on wood. Well, let's get into some picks and bans.
Alright, we're ready to rock and roll. Picks and bans for the final set of the day. If they were to pull something out special, it's going to be in one of these matches. But I think that they're going to be content with doing what they always do.
Honestly, I'll be surprised to see Asana get through, maybe even bans. We've seen the performance these players have had with her, and I wouldn't blame either team for taking that option off the table.
Yeah, it's been a Firepower's world right now, with Quark thrown in there as well, and really Pup is, pure Firepower. But there was a while when first bans were those frontliners, and they were super respected. And right now, you don't always even need one, but the Asana performance we've seen this tournament, you're right, has been absolutely astonishing on all sides. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that respected out. The Zuki performances, when they're allowed, have not been that dominating that you might be able to let one slip through in terms to get a custom ban out of the way.
One thing that surprised me is how not dominant Lockwood's been in any of the matches.
I mean, he's never been bad, though, right? He's always been in there just dealing damage and avoiding a lot of damage, too, with those dashes. Kind of the unsung hero of it. Doesn't show up on any of the charts, but every turn you dash and avoid 90 damage is a big one. But yeah, not really crucial plays. A lot have been holding their ultimates till later for safety, which means they don't get that big multi-person 55 damage going out.
And with the loss of, ignoring cover,
Yeah, that really hurts as well. That's one of the reasons we've seen a lot of the health builds come out of these Blackburns, is because he no longer ignores cover, he just ignores half of it, so they just go, oh, okay. And
A very quick Su Ren ban from Vezzed Gaming.
yeah, apparently they've been studying the tapes, and they know, hey, these guys, Imperium, have been working their way to the top with solid 2 medium firepowers, a Suran or some sort of support that heals both of them at the same time, and then a solid frontline play out of Knight. And that's their strategy, and they're not going to stray from it as they pick up that Asana first and Zuki as well. I mean, they're going straight down that list. Good firepower, firepower, Asana.
We got the Cork locked in instantly as well for Vez. They're hovering on this Orion. Orion Cork has been seeing a lot of play. In fact, Orion Cork Blackburn has been seeing a lot of play. And looking like that's going to be the case for Vezzed Gaming.
I'm actually surprised we didn't see a Juno, because we saw some people before do the Quark Juno Orion strategy, where it's just, yeah, we're just going to form a chain of death and invincibility.
I think Juno's more favored on Hyperforge and Cloudspire than she is on Evo Slab. So that might be coming into play for the lack of Juno pick here.
Mm-hmm. Peppa, you might want to check your webcam there. Just make sure it's still outputting good stuff. But looks like we've got the pick for Celeste out there. It's just frozen on my end.
Telling me it's going. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll try and refresh you a little later until you guys can deal with a lovely still frame of Pepper. Pretend he's my ventriloquist.
I hope it's a flattering still frame, but as we
it's
see,
not awful. All right.
Celeste pick for Imperium and Lockwood, who we were just talking about, being the final pick for Vez. So no frontliner with their double support, and it looks like Imperium's going to go a bit more traditional here and stick with that double firepower support frontline, bringing Kita to round things out.
Yeah, that's an interesting pickup, Akita, in this composition. I'm not sure if I'm in love with it, simply because Asana's off and off doing her own thing, and you don't have that real dedicated healing of when somebody gets in trouble, you can heal them off. They have to sit and attack to get the healing, which isn't my favorite. In addition, instead of true healing, a lot of times you're stacking shields. But I'm sure if Suran was available, they would have went with that. I think that was a really smart ban on their side, and I think that may affect this match significantly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Kita's a potent healer, but I mean, there's only one character that doesn't have a dash, and not a lot of people who can hit. Or Asana especially can't really hit over walls consistently to really make sure they can secure those heals. So it might be a little difficult for him to pick them up.
All right, looks like we're gonna get into game.
And here we go, looking at all those shiny borders, all these matching Dark Blades, come on! All these almost matching. Dark Crow and Arctic Monkey got that memo, but those other two not following in line.
No, not at all. All right, Vezzed Gaming versus Imperium, game 1.
Let's get underway.
Vezzed on your blue team. They're going to be Dark Crow, Arctic, Dark Blades, and Poke. You saw them just before this. On the other side, Imperium, you've seen twice so far. Asher, Hossie, Jester, and Knight getting ready to start out this game on Evos.
Both teams cutting up to the same side, so we might see an early clash the second turn, depending on how aggressively, say, Knight moves up. I'm thinking just by their team comp, Vez is going to be playing a little bit less aggressive than Imperium here, as they lack that frontliner. And they don't even have a pseudo frontliner to take their place, like a Juno or a Pup, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, whoever Quark is tethered to is the frontliner at the moment.
Yeah.
That's what it's got to be. So they're going to set up Arctic Monkey to be a little bit more forward, it looks like.
Ooh, that probe.
Perfect probe. Perfect probe, catching the entire enemy team. Hossie going to steal that might, but they were probably honestly staying back anyways to begin with, just so that they avoid the mighted Hossie for a turn or two until that falls off. Although now Arctic's little juke.
3 out of 4 of the members.
Yeah.
3 out of the 4 members of Vezzed Gaming are underneath that probe. So Knight here has some pretty good options. I mean, you can get a pretty tricky bounce to hit Arctic and possibly Pokey if they do have rebound. They do have the vault, so they could hit a double hit here, but that's dashing up to a cork, which is a very dangerous proposition.
Absolutely, especially when your dash is down, so you can't get back out easily. They would have to go through the trap that was up to do that, though, so I'm not certain they're going to do that. They might just, go around the side. Pokey keep max range tethers on Arctic. Arctic moving in front as their pseudo frontliner.
Possibly being the only visible member of Imperium, that's going to be where all the hate's coming. I wonder if they're going to stick around, or if they recognize that as they can see the enemy vision. Get out of dodge.
We'll find out. Hosty doesn't look to be in too much trouble. I mean, a direct shot from Arctic. Hopefully they can get some damage from the rest of the team, although the angles aren't great. And look at that shielding. Hosty definitely staying around to deal some damage there. Especially maybe smoke bombs to avoid cover and see if they can't find a cork too. Darkblade's throwing over the walls, going to find straight up damage. That's going to start to pierce the shields. And then Arctic with the spread shot. A little less on Hosty, but a little more on Asher than would normally be the case with a direct line of sight. Smoke bombs finding both Darkblades and Arctic, and now Knight has begun their aggression while the rest of the team backs completely off.
Asher's Resonance Burst keeping Hosty way healthier than they would have been, and with this aggression here, I mean, it might be tempting to start dashing to hit multiple targets, but you pretty much have to save it until you get tethered by that cork. And I'm a little bit worried with how aggressive they moved up when the rest of their team fell back. Lack of communication, perhaps, or is Knight just feeling full of themselves?
Well, we're going to find out what they do as they're surrounded this time with no support. Just a little bit of healing going on, but Knight bouncing around in there, getting a nice double and probably avoiding most damage. We'll find out. Long range grabbers from Hosty manages to just tickle Arctic, although most of it's healed right off.
Probes on probes on probes. You see yet another one tossed out. A little bit of cover damage on Hosty, and we did see Knight dash in. That's dangerous. I mean, Pokey can tether them now. Yeah, they'll take the almost inevitable retribution damage, but Knight's going to have to just run away to get out of that cork tether unless they want to stick to him for 4 more turns. So could have put themselves in a pretty risky position here. And Asher having that aim assist, though, could start marking cork for some heals, as they can target over walls with their healing ability.
Absolutely possible. They can start targeting and focusing down that cork, making sure that they get the punishment that you really want to give them in this one. Arctic standing straight on the health, just super healing, not even caring the direct line of sight of multiples of the enemy. Darkblade's dashing out for damage and finding a direct shot on Asher while avoiding almost all damage themselves. Knight's going to root Dark Crow in the big one. Not the center, but as far in as possible. As you're right, Pokey does tether Knight, and Arctic takes that bounce shot over to Hosty. They're really punishing Hosty, but they're starting to deal that damage to Pokey that they want to. So they'll heal a lot of that right back off. Yeah, look at the focus! Look at the focus on Pokey. And Pokey moved right into the center of the big one. Or not the center, but the middle area. Forced to use dash now.
Yeah, plenty of dash options, though, to get to safety. I mean, they can go to Arctic Monkey. They could even go to Dark Crow to get out of there, but that just gives Knight even more of a chance to chase them down, even though they are still completely isolated within the enemy team. Knight is the only one up there, as despite Hosty getting consistently poked by Arctic Monkey.
All right, there goes the shield for Knight. They're going to stick around, and some healing coming out of Dark Crow. Pokey also just dashing out of this one, going to attach to Dark Crow instead, since they know the damage is coming in that way, leaving Arctic unprotected. Direct shots on Knight. They're starting to take off these shields. There, they've got through it. Here, they're piercing actual health down to 58. And not much more coming there. There's the start of the damage on Dark Crow, but not nearly as much incoming as they were a little bit more conservative. They do manage to break the tether, but at low health.
A smart turn to disengage, especially considering they did not get any of the healing off of Kita's mark. So there's no more healing coming their way for another 3 turns until TKM's back off cooldown, and this might be the time for Knight to sort of back out, trade in someone else to start taking a little bit of focus, as we do see Imperium starting to box these guys into a corner.
Jester's still at full health, and Kita's relatively healthy. Hosty's starting to get there again. As they dash, Asher actually dashes out to make sure they damage Darkblades and keep this damage trade going in their favor. Knight's the one you have to worry about, is taking Orion damage. Got a trap behind him. And, well, there's some focus and some damage on Arctic Monkey.
Ooh,
Knight moves aggressively through into the center of the map, but still nobody knows exactly where they are, although close, or and there's not much damage that can come in their way.
Yeah, I mean, aggressively was the right move as Arctic Monkey expected them to retreat, so it's in the trap, but they just get to completely avoid that. Dash is now back up, but we still have another 2 turns before Take Aim arrives, and we know they don't have second wind. There's no healing on the map for them right now. But we are starting to see ults come up nice and early on turn 9. Hossie has a lot of potential to do big damage if they use it early.
Absolutely. I mean, and Pokey can keep their team just super topped off if they ever think damage is coming in. Knight's going to actually use the dash to get out of the way, but at the same turns Darkblade's Catalyst away, Stealth Catalyst, so the enemy team knows roughly where they are and covers most of the area next to it, so there's very few places left that they could actually be. Darkrow's going to use the ultimate, thinking maybe they'd get engaged upon. No such luck there, so just a little bit of healing coming out and a lot of shards down.
Yeah, when you see Darkblades, I mean, this is something we've seen time and time again with Blackburns. They aggressively dash like Darkblades did and then are forced to Catalyst soon after. And that's a big problem for Blackburn, as that is a fairly limited dash with a fairly long cooldown. So that can be a nice, juicy focus target, as it continues to look like it's Imperium forcing Vezzed into position, not the other way around.
Yeah, Imperium's slowly forming up around the side, even though their health isn't the greatest. Asher and Dr. Jester both able to use this non-direct damage to go ahead and hit targets they really shouldn't be able to. Arctic gonna bounce shots in, though, and they're really focusing Knight. That shield doing work as Knight goes down to 5, returning a lot of damage, but managing to live through the turn. Hossie finding some return damage around the back. Now Knight has ultimate to try and get out of this, but where is safe?
I mean, with how clumped up everything is, not a lot of places are safe, and we do see a lot of ultimates. In fact, the way they're lined up, they have to be super careful. Blackburn's sitting on extra width. That could hit the entirety of Imperium right now, if they line it up correctly.
Just miss 1.
Oh, that's true. They could hit everybody but 1. But we'll see where Knight goes for it. And with the stim, that's looking to be the case. Resonance Burst going to be providing as much healing as they can, but it might not be enough for some people.
Yeah, Ash is just out in the open and forced to take it. Jester throwing this ultimate out, saying, if you stay and deal damage, you are in some trouble. As Asher throws out Take Aim on Darkblades, they're going to focus that as the target. Pokey has it as healing, though, and man, that is some healing coming out between ultimate and the tether. Arctic dashes through. Knight had fettered out of the way. Jester and Asher just take it directly, although with either cover or shielding should be fine. Zuki puts out a ton of damage, but Darkblades returns with even more coming through from the other side, although nobody went super low from the amount of ultimates used there.
Yeah, Imperium's been being really aggressive and trying to spread out their damage, but that's not paying dividends as they just aren't getting anyone low enough. Darkrow's sitting the lowest, but he has his heal and his ultimate, so not a lot of problems for him. And now Arctic Monkey has a great shot. Knight basically forced to ultimate out, but they have much better options now than they did the previous turn.
For escape, yeah, but it's not going to lead to the good damage they want out of it. They unfortunately forced to do a very defensive dash out, which does show the enemy the direction you went to. Will land in stealth square, so can't be followed directly. Darkcrow going to use that ultimate just to heal back up again. Try and reclaim some health as Hossie's throwing these smoke bombs. A lot of missed shots because of the dash out. They were trying to confirm the kill. Azure trying to root the enemy in place. They'll get Pokey. A Darkcrow is unstoppable this turn. Maybe that might detach? No, Darkblades expected this and kept in range of Pokey.
Hossie's been holding on to this ult for a long time. Likely to only get 1, so they got to be careful with it now. And this looks like Knight might finally have their number up with Arctic Monkey right there next to him with just no more escapes. And a first blood this late in the game does not spell well for Imperium.
No, it doesn't. I mean, they don't have any direct kills that they're looking at coming up. Darkcrow may go down if he doesn't Catalyst or heal, but one of the two seems to be coming up. Although they did just do a direct heal, a nice double hit from Hossie onto Darkcrow could, if you're gonna ulti. Let's see, Darkblade's just taking shots over at Jester. Asher's going to find around the back damage at Pokey. They're still working their way out over there as they try and focus Darkcrow. Here comes the ultimate. Darko didn't leave. They go ahead and take the kill back, so they're just going to trade right now in a 1-to-1.
I'm surprised we didn't see a root come out to Arctic Monkey. I mean, you knew they were going to stay to finish you off, or you had a very good idea, and why not just keep them in place, keep them from getting anywhere near that heal? But regardless, Aussie now a bit in the open after that kill, so they're going to be worried about themselves. And Dr. Jester has been getting poked down a lot as time goes on. We do have both Resonance Burst and Take Aim up from Asher, so the support is ready to go, and looks like we're going to start seeing it.
Some shielding going out for Dr. Jester since they're, out in the middle without cover from Darkblades, I do believe. And Darkblade's going to be the target of choice for the healing. They do dash away. There will be another turn they have to make use of that. A lot of positioning just standing out in the open this game. Not against cover like you see Hossie right now, and there's just a lot of open spots in the middle. Hossie taking the direct damage, although is healing it all back up if they were not to be hit again. Arctic running for health around the side, not going to be effective for another turn, but may go and steal the health, take another turn out, or try and engage from the rear. As
Darkblades has to play very carefully now that their Catalyst does down, and 100% going to have vision on them from that Asana respawn. So Hossie could hit them here and start to get that take aim healing, as that has got to be their focus for the next few turns. We are already at turn 15. They do not have a lot of time to start securing more.
Yeah, each team trying to beg for this last kill. Darkblades taking direct double grabbers, and Dr. Jester just finding Pokey. Yeah, that's way too long to be hit, but I was excited for a second there. Looks like just a full run from Blackburn. They knew that, hey, I needed to get out of there.
The Knight respawning right next to him with the auto follow and has their full suite available. They can lock them down, and if I was Imperium, I'd do the lockdown and just full move everybody else in position to continue punching them instead of trying to poke away at Arctic Monkey, which is basically their only other option.
Yeah, I mean, you can 100% lock down Darkblades this turn, although Unstoppable on Fate Transfer might be a thing. I can't see it right now, but might be possible. Zuki jumping out, trying to preserve their health, knowing that it's going to come down to one kill in the next couple turns. Arctic trying for a shot, won't find much of anything. Knight going to just take the direct damage, not even putting up their shield. Going down to half health. But the root catching both Darkblades and Pokey, and it was not... well, Fate Transfer does give Unstoppable. They didn't expect it that turn. So now Darkblade's locked in place, although they did lock Pokey and Darkblades still in tether range.
Knight, I'm surprised we didn't see Retribution last turn, as that would have blocked the higher damaging Quark's initial tether. But they still have available, they still have dash available. Arctic Monkey actually in a pretty great spot to just try and get in the way of Darkblades, as it seems to be a race on who dies first, Knight or Darkblade.
We'll find out now. Even if one dies, they still have a turn to, a turn or two to catch up. There are 17, 18, 19, 24 turns left available in this game. Darkblade's getting significant healing though, and they're trying to beat through a Quark heal target, which is going to have ultimate by the end of the game. That may not be what they can finish, but luckily they're getting Arctic low as well. My only worry is if they get them both low and then the Quark healing just undoes the work on both of them. Arctic Monkey taking the bounce shots, finding so much damage on Hossie. Hossie going extremely low, although getting some healing from those stealth squares.
Yeah, Knight forced into a bad position because of the auto fell on the Asana dash. I mean, you said they're focusing the Quark tether. It might have been better to dash and not hit anybody so you didn't auto follow back out into the open like they currently are. And with the two firepower staring them down, they can really burn through a lot of Knight's healing. Asher needs to get in range with Resonance Burst and Take Aim, which is about to be off cooldown. Otherwise, this could spell the end.
And I'm sure that'll be their focus. In fact, Resonance Burst barely finds Knight with the tip right now, also weakening Arctic. Knight with lots of shielded, still not using their own personal shielding, saving that for a later turn. Not wanting to double shield and have any of it wasted. Looks like the swipe will miss Arctic Monkey because of his dash out, and Knight will try and run away, but now has nothing to do this turn, turn 19.
Ooh, Darkblades has ultimate.
Yeah, Vezzed.
It's not enough to finish him off, but it'll get him low. And Arctic Monkey also on hand to start shooting at them. They need to continue to full move away. Use that free action shield and just get out of town and let the rest of your team figure out how to kill them. As we do see, once again, Vezzed getting very grouped up, but it didn't really go against them last time.
Yeah, I mean, they've got 3 squares spacing between all of them. It's going to be hard to find multiple hits, but they're still close enough. They'd all benefit from a Quark ulti. They're all able to cover for each other. Jester trying to find maybe some splash damage, not finding it. Looks like they are going for Knight with Darkblade's ultimate instead of trying to fish out some of the lower health, less tanky members of the team. Bounce shot not finding, bouncing around the side. And not quite catching Knight. Asher trying to see if they can't catch around the corner too, not finding anything. Darkcrow's the one who's going to be picking up this healing.
Last turn, says the announcer, but I very much doubt that, as we are almost certainly going to overtime. These teams just playing so safe, and Pokey sitting on this ultimate surrounded by all 4 members. Not only will that heal them all, it'll give him a ton of shielding with the mod he has on his ultimate. So despite that being a target with no catalyst, it's going to be a tough one to take down. Honestly, for Imperium, I don't even know who you try and focus at this point. That double support really coming in handy this late in the game.
And here comes that ultimate out of there. Super huge shields, lots of healing, energized coming out. Their team's looking pretty healthy. Hossy going to be the focus of this one, taking damage after damage after. No, Arctic shooting around the side, finds Knight. Again, Knight, you cannot stop running. They still know you're there. Hossy throwing smoke bombs, Asher coming in. They're going to focus Darkblades, and what a good idea to use the Quark ult that turn. Otherwise, Darkblades would be in some serious trouble right now, but does have dash.
Darkblades is in serious trouble because that dash, I mean, Hossy and Dr. Jester don't even have to ult. Just the threat of their ults will almost certainly force Darkblades to dash away. But next turn, Darkcrow has Fate Transfer. With Hossy's and Jester's ult alongside the rest of the damage to the team, they might be able to just burn right through a Fate Transfer, even with 34 health remaining.
But it's a big guessing game because what if Arctic Monkey jumps in and they manage to get a kill on Hossy before that happens? I mean, then you've got to balance your damage with your escape. Arctic's dashing over to Knight. Darkblades dashes out as well. Does Darkblades hit Knight?
Nope.
It won't be the kill. Looks like triple catalyst out from the only person who we know where they are right now.
That was non-cover.
It was not cover. That hits from the side. It's the final bit of damage needed. They calculated it out exactly. I thought as you did, oh, that's got to be cover. But no, just barely at the angle, 1 square in, finds the final kill of the game with the dash over when the rest of the enemy team was catalysting away. They picked the one member that couldn't to finish off that game.
I thought that was cover, but obviously they knew better, and just a really nice show of focus.
Absolutely.
From Vezzed Gaming.
Yeah, so quick, if you want to go back and watch, you can look at the screen and pause it and see all the mods and whatnot. The stats, I mean, pretty solid for both teams, but let's take another look at this final positioning. You can see where Quark is looking at right now, and then Diagonal 1 is the top square, Diagonal 2 is just north of the Blackburn, and so Blackburn's south of the cover line by 1 square. Literally perfect. It looks like cover from first grab, absolutely. So very careful, gamers, to make sure that you calculate that out exactly. I thought the same thing, yeah.
Darkblades was going to be in a lot of trouble the following turn, so they needed that kill. They needed to go all whole hog in. And Knight, the only 2 deaths for his team, I mean, still, I mean, a great player, but just when you're the frontliner like that, and you're just trying to go in against this double support, it's just so hard to actually secure a kill. I mean, look at how high the damage numbers are on Imperium, but it just wasn't enough against the solid backline that Vezzed brought to the table.
Alright, I think we fixed our video issue. You're back up and on the page.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so Vezzed taking down the first one. Let's add that to their titles here. We'll add that to their screen.
As we get ready for game 2. So, Vezzed can take this all right now. I mean, they just need to win this next match.
Yeah, this next match could be everything, and that means that if you're Imperium, you got to pull out all the stats. There is no waiting for tomorrow. This is absolutely the case where you have to win or go home. So if you've got any tricks, anything that you can do to pull out the win here, you need to pull it off now.
I still don't know how I feel about the Nev home screen. Just every time I see it, it's just like cat girl.
It's very in your face. I will agree. It is very strongly themed.
Yeah. Good word for it. So here we go. Getting into these the potentially final pick and ban phase. I gotta wonder, what's going through Imp's head? What do you do to adapt? I mean, if you start to see the same pick and ban going through going through here, do you try and adapt to the double support? And if so, what's the solution? Oh, that was almost really bad.
All right, so we've got the team set up. I don't know if you make major adjustments. I mean, I think those were both teams playing pretty well at the top of their game. I think that the Kita pick was not necessarily working out great for them with their composition and what they intended to do there. And I mean, maybe there's other reasons that they wanted to include it. Maybe they felt they needed the damage support versus double support, but it seems to have... I mean, they had some good resonance bursts. They didn't have all the heals that they wanted to in that situation, whereas the other team had all the heals. All right, so it looks like we've got a map ban out for Cloudspire.
Ooh. I remember the tiny map, and I wonder where we're going to go now. I mean, probably not Hyperforge, but I still want to see another Hyperforge map.
You know, Hyperforge is fun.
Actual Hyperforge match.
Well, we'll see. They're taking their sweet time. They might have wanted Cloudspire. I mean, that's why you ban things, right? If the other team really wants it.
You get ready to see what this map pick is going to be. Where does Imperium want to make their stand?
All right. Yeah, so we'll see map pick. Map pick is Evos.
Swinging back around to Evo Slab. I mean, I really don't blame him. I mean, Vezzed just won there. Why not go back?
Yeah, hey, if you're very confident in it, then yeah, might as well. They seem to know something a lot of other teams don't.
I wonder if we see the return of the double support, or if they'll try and mix it up and keep Imperium guessing. They'll let them get comfortable. And looks like Imperium definitely doesn't want to let them get comfortable as they ban out that Orion almost instantly.
All right, give me just a second, ladies and gents. We're gonna move over to. Unfortunately, Pepper, you're not gonna be on screen for this. Website, the issues are back with your cam.
Shame, shame. But we do see a Quark ban followed up by a Zuki pick. It looks like Imperium really trying to control this pick ban phase and force them to just not run what they wanted to run before. Instead, we're going to get Subren and Asana, the student and the master, coming together here in the finals match. A really strong pickup, but that is 2 melees right off the bat.
Absolutely. Well, they said, you know what, we don't want the Suren to get through, so if we're not going to ban it, hey, we're going to take it out of the way. Zuki making it through, but again, Zuki hasn't been that huge impact, although she does have that tremendous ult. She's good. Very good, but she hasn't blown many games wide open yet. Jester going with that Phaedra on what they want, which will almost certainly go over tonight. And both teams showing up some pretty normal composition so far. Nothing too strange out of the ordinary here.
Yeah, and we see the Phaedra pick up followed by Lockwood. A really solid, just straightforward comp coming forward for both teams. Looks like nobody wants to risk it here. And there's going to be that Aurora. So what's the final pick? What is your... Are you going to see another double support? This double frontliner even?
I mean, it's firepower. It's going to be one of your standard firepowers. Blackburn, Gremolitions. Yep.
I mean, double support. Asana's a fine frontliner pick for double support. She can output a ton of damage.
Absolutely is. I agree with you, but nobody wants to risk it. Especially on a map like Evos where you can get... There's not the perfect runaway potential, right? You can always get caught out. So, it looks like that they're going to settle with the Suren and the damage, and they're going to try and win this through that. Vezzed is on your right, Imperium's on your left. You get the 2 full, pretty standard team comps ready to go into what could be the final match of Season 4. Just 26, 25 seconds left until we get into a game that could decide the world champion.
And going down these team comps, it's really hard to say one's better than the other. And they both, it looks like neither was going for like a weird strategy or a focus comp. It's just grab as many high tier characters as you can and smash them together.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's looking to me, is they both went right down tier list and said we've got to do maximum damage, maximum healing, and maximum survivability. We cannot try and be cute with this because this could be the final game. You know, as we said, not a lot of teams can play later. They're all trying to get it done for the European times. This is getting pretty late, so they definitely want to get it done as soon as possible.
Your team is ready.
Right. And there we are in game. Imperium on your left side in blue. Knight, Asher, Dr. Jester, Hasi. Right side, Vezzed Gaming. We've got Darkblades, Dark Crow, Arctic, and Pokey as we get into this. I'm surprised more people don't ban out Celeste to get rid of some of these slow starts to make the Might actually contestable.
We see Imperium playing, or sorry, Vezzed playing a little bit more safe than Imperium. I mean, it's only a couple squares more, but it could mean a big difference here. Nobody wants to be the ones caught out of position here. And, I mean, there's Celeste. There's no point even going anywhere towards that buff unless you plan to dash through it, which I don't think they're as big a fans as I am of turn 2 dashes.
Might go in the way of Darkblades, actually. Instead of somebody with a wide sway like Arctic Monkey, they're going to say Darkblades probably going to be crazy enough to actually get forward to use it.
Seeing 2 probes come out, and they are only going to catch Dark Crow with one of them, but it doesn't really matter as suddenly Vez decides we don't want to play passive and runs right up, and immediately just the battle is beginning. Vez not wasting any time, as definitely Imperium playing safer here, but looks like they're ready to get aggressive, and with Asana, with that Spirit Bend, can apply some nice weakens if they get the targets right.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't expect if you're Celeste to just go ahead and Might, is people to get up in your faces. This could be some tremendous smoke bomb damage coming out on the enemy team if they don't dodge out of here. Darkblade's going to throw up the shield. Pokey catalysting for more, or excuse me, using their stims for more implant. Knight predicting they're going to take a lot, and Dr. Jester jumping way out of the fray. Did not bargain for this. Dark Crow takes a spin, hoping to get somebody closing on him. No dice. Hasi totally ignores Darkblade, goes over the head for Pokey as Darkblades misses. And so far, Imperium's playing this off pretty well, catching double damage on all the firepowers and avoiding the entirety of Darkblade's shields, as well as all of their shots were focused on Jester. Knight hitting them as well. This has gone completely in Imperium's favor that first turn.
I think they were going for a blitz to try and just insta-kill Jester, but it did not pan out as Jester wisely decided to jump out of the way. And like you said, Vez is in a terrible spot now. I mean, there's no other way to say it. We have 2 characters, both the firepowers are already down at half health, and to heal them both, Darkrow will be forced to dash out into the open.
Alright, Arctic and Darkrow dashing out to the middle of the map. They're going to heal out anyways as they get out into a group. That'll mean a lot of misses from the other team, although Jester managed to find a nice double, ignoring cover on Pokey thanks to the sticky bombs. Darkblade's just a basic swipe as Asher doesn't find anybody, and Knight barely catches the tip of Arctic, but not a lot of damage coming out there. Darkblade's still chasing Zuki out of the fight and saying, I know you're good in multiples, but let's make this a one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, and Arctic Monkey dashing in for those heals. Darkrow has another escape, but not Arctic, and he's not in a great position here, as we do have a pause being thrown out.
Pause being requested by Asher, signaling somebody on their team may have disconnected or had an issue, but teams are allowed a certain amount of pause seconds, or well, minutes really, during the games. You guys can check out more info on our Discord. Looks like that they've got it dealt with, and we're back ready for the action, though.
Like I was saying, Arctic Monkey, he dashed to that heal, but just is continuing to be not in a good place. And this slippery scoundrel already forced to use that catalyst.
Darkrow dash you back, gonna steal the health from anybody that tried to get it, as Lockwood just catalyst out of the way. Pokey taking the direct shots through covered. Oh, he was in the trap, and he was found out. That's not good. Pokey taking the damage. Knight gonna spray through, and they would have had a good idea of where he was anyways, but now they know exactly, thanks to that perfect Celeste trap.
And Imperium doing a wonderful job of turning this right around. And honestly, I mean, maybe they weren't paying attention, but if Celeste drops down a trap, you can't go anywhere near popular cover spaces like that. And that's right next to where Lockwood went. So already just escapes being forced on. Well, Darkblaze is doing their best to harass this backline, but they're mostly just ignoring the Asana. And just be like, well, just continue to attack your squishies.
So Arctic, with nothing available to them right now, has haste and might, probably just electing to do as much damage as possible. Bounces around, double bounce onto Asher for major damage. Honestly, grabbing the heals as Pokey tries to poke on Knight there. Darkblade's finding a double for some good damage, but Arctic's the story this turn as he's standing in the middle after being revealed with nothing, taking all the damage. That's one of the things I don't like about Fade, is that it encourages you to make moves that if somebody accidentally reveals you, man, you're just in so much trouble. You're not in cover or over a wall.
Yeah, definitely. And now here we have Pokey here sitting at super low health, and he can't actually dash onto that buff with his dash. It is not in cover, and the range I don't think can get him in a line that will get to it. So
no, yeah,
that could easily get stolen if he doesn't catalyst for it.
But he could just run the other direction as well and disengage if Knight was going for it. So it's all the, is he following me? Is he going ahead of me situation. Dark Crow gonna get slowed out of the side of the map. Pokey just elected to do straight up damage and hitting the shield of Darkblades. A little direct damage covering both the health and Pokey, so would have gotten hit either way. And Pokey runs the other direction, predicting Knight would run for the health. He's absolutely correct, as now he's completely out of Knight's range except for maybe that dash.
I'm just now realizing it hadn't really hit anyone before. We have a shock and awe big one from Zuki instead of the free action, so forcing Dark Crow a little bit out of position and keeping them far enough away to not be able to heal Pokey this turn unless Pokey dashes in for the heal.
Yeah,
so a great use of that mod right there.
Absolutely. Great for isolating people that are going to be running in a certain direction, so are going to be in it anyways. Dark Crow trying to predict the dash, not finding anything there. Grenades going over the wall, so they'll catch Darkblades along with that Iron Cloud. And the big one finding Dark Crow as well. Darkblades takes the swing on Hossie, hopefully rooting Hossie out of the action. Indeed they do. So now Hossie's got nothing to do this turn. They're using crowd control to full effect.
Yeah, and Pokey is in full retreat, and we do have Arctic Munty respawning, but has to play so much more careful now, and it's almost turn 10, and they're nowhere near ult because of how quickly they were forced out of the fight. That is going to be a slow ult for Lockwood, and just another escape that they don't have on the table for the time being.
Reveal Catalyst being used over the quarter. They want to know where this Darkblade and Pokey are going. In the meantime, they'll just do some damage, but through the wall, they thought they might find so many, don't find anything. Arctic bounces around the corner as Hossie tries for what they thought was in the stealth push, but no, he moved out of the way.
Man, Knight not dashing is really messing with Vezzed. You can feel it. I mean, twice now they've gone for predicts to the point of using an ultimate for the predict on the dash, and still Knight's just hanging out and completely wasting the Blackburn ult.
Yeah, that Blackburn ult hit nothing, and I'm sure they were sure it was going to do damage there, but just sitting around doing basic attacks, constantly wearing these people out. Now there is another health buff coming up soon. And these teams had better be prepared because the Darkblade's dashing in and some of the weirdest bouncing I've seen.
That was another fade caught out from Dr. Jester. These fades are not paying off this game.
Yep, a nice spray by Arctic. I mean, that spray is just tremendously huge and will cover so much ground if you ever think somebody's going to fade out of the way. Knight chasing down Pokey, but Pokey's got a huge shield and is healing up, so not the place you want to be next to, although Pokey could dash to try and get more damage onto, say, dash next to Jester, shoot Asher. Seems like a plan.
It's getting dangerously clustered up, and actually Arctic Monkey with that spray was able to secure their ult before Dr. Jester, so doing a nice comeback energy-wise. But Dr. Jester faded when they had their jump available. An interesting choice, but it keeps them safe for this turn.
Knight expecting to take a lot of damage. They don't expect Pokey to do the dash out and spread the damage elsewhere. Arctic's going to dash through and out of the way as all three members of the other team that were in the middle do dash out of there. Pokey elects to stay, dealing the damage to Knight and healing themselves up, although Knight will heal most of that right back off. Pokey taking a little bit, he is healing as well.
Yeah, Arctic Monkey not getting to use their ult or the Spirit Bend at the moment. They still have a chance here. Only going to be able to do single target damage. They can find a single person, and Asher's still invisible. Just Arctic Monkey's next couple moves are going to be real dangerous, as he does not have another escape after his dash and knows there's 2 firepower ults available.
And right next to him as well. Darkblade's going to come in for as much shielding as possible, being careful not to go next to Arctic Monkey, since the ult happens. A triple 2, managing to catch Dark Crow in the corner as Knight slows them down.
Darkblade will dodge that, like you mentioned, and Hossie here now looking like they might be on their way out the door. Perhaps just banking on a dash from Arctic Monkey.
But Asher comes in for the save. 6 health remaining, just barely enough. And then Arctic will pay for staying in place, taking so much damage from double ultimate there. Knight taking a brutal beating in between Pokey and Dark Crow. Even the healing that's happening, not enough to shake all of that off. So a lot of people in trouble right now. Hossie and Arctic both at 7.
Yeah, we did see Putrid Spray applied to Dark Crow and Pokey, so they just got to be careful of Knight's ultimate for the surprising burst damage that Phaedra throws out every once in a while. Well, Hossie and Arctic both firepower sitting at 7 health, and both only have 1 dash available. Ooh, Surging Flare for that nice 38.
Alright, there's a dash over for Dark Crow as Dark Blade stays and says double hit. That's what I'm all about. Pokey gets his bugs popped off as he takes a swing at Jester. Jester's going extremely low themselves, but Hossie likes to stay and deal the damage. Jester comes in as well, takes on Dark Blades. They did not expect that much damage. Dark Blades goes down 2-0 for the Imperium, and just how are Vezzed going to come back from this?
Yeah, not looking great for Dr. Jester, though, as they do not have any more escapes available, and Asher only has 10 shielding or just the tiny chip healing, which should protect them from a cover shot from Pokey, which is what I believe we have here, but just they have to play super careful until that Surging Flare is back online. Meanwhile, Arctic Monkey not going to have an impact for at least a turn, as they are focused entirely on survival.
Get that heal, run away, do what they can. Dr. Jester slowing the chase down, hoping that they don't get caught out. Dark Crow's going to dash around inside of that big one as they get the heal off on Blackburn. Blackburn actually catalysting out of the way instead of taking the cover shot on Jester.
Yeah, Knight went for the Fetter, Pokey went for the Fade, and he's still very much right nearby, and Knight could easily find them, but that's 2 more important to catalyst down, especially after yet another aggressive Blackburn dash that leads to a catalyst.
Absolutely.
As Arctic Monkey, another turn, almost certainly not having any impact.
Yeah, we'll see if Pokey figures out where to grenade correctly or if they're just going to all in on Knight at this point. Asher taking the shot through to heal Dr. Jester. Just a little bit of healing on the side, but it will do a lot of work. Jester will not find the stealth Pokey. As Pokey throws a grenade all the way in the back, hitting Asher. Dark Crow going to go ahead and attack Knight, but Knight might find Pokey here. He does indeed, and locks Dark Crow in. Some stealth cover from Hossie, but Arctic's picking up the healing and already running around.
Stay focused.
I mean, you lock Pokey in, but Pokey's not sitting particularly low on HP, and Knight certainly is. They have a Mending Swarm available, and the shield mod on it, so if they play their cards right, they could get some gain out of it, but they might just opt to dash over to that health. You know, it would take them 2 turns, seeing as going through that wall stops them immediately. Meanwhile, Hossie definitely just trying to chase down Arctic Monkey here and secure that lockwood before he comes back with a million dashes.
All right, looks like a fade coming out of Suran as Knight tries to dash directly through. Dark Blades will come in to body block the shot, and they'll do a lot of damage to Jester as Dark Crow, with the jump out of the way, able to heal as well, getting themselves somewhat healthy, and Pokey a little bit better too. Although they just barely hit ult. Dark Crow hit ult. That is big.
Yeah, play a bit of a bluffing game here, though. As they can't be finished off by Knight alone, and nobody else is on hand to deal damage. So for the time being, they can hold that ult if they so choose. As Dr. Jester dead to rights.
And weakening Knight would mean everybody they hit
nope.
gives you some health. But you got to be
That's
careful of that
certainly
Zuki
not even for the
AoE.
wall.
Darker just going to go ahead and use the ulti anyways. Now I want to bet that Zuki can't find an angled shot in there somewhere. Knight just going to spray anyway, signaling they didn't have the shot. No, they did! They did have the shot. Darkrow would have been dead if they both did basic attacks. And Darkrow didn't shield, so good shield there. Pokey finds the double! The double with the big Blackburn ult. That Might doing so much work.
Turns left.
Bringing it back to a 2-2 game, turn 18. What a twist.
This is definitely still anyone's games. So many resources have been used. There's only like 2 shift catalysts left on the board as we're just Hossie is now finally caught to Arctic Monkey with the might and can really start to punish this Lockwood they've had their eye on for quite some time.
Doko just gets some healing from that ultimate coming off as Hossie takes the direct damage and the cover bounces from Arctic, but returns favor with just some stiff, mighted claw action. Arctic Monkey taking a lot in the face, but Darkblades runs from the corner of the map to go ahead and try and block that damage now. Smoke bombs still are up, but I don't believe they do enough to kill here.
No, not enough as they are weakened to counteract that might. We do have Asher on hand that can provide a little bit of support, and if they're in range, which I'm not 100% sure, might be able to finish off Arctic Monkey here going into the final turn.
Just too long for Aurora. She can't quite make that. She can, however, weaken and shield, trying to improve Hossie's survivability as there's some traps thrown out, and they're going for Hossie. Hossie Catalyst out of the way. That is a Fade as well. Love Affair Fade with Fade is alive and well. So Darkblades can just take that spot.
That we saw the Paralyzer come out on a turn they were fading. It might have been a last-minute decision. And Arctic Monkey didn't even go for the shot using their full turn trap. No free trap there. And their dash is back up as we hit our final turn, likely going to yet another overtime. And we do have Knight and Pokey meeting here at the bottom of the map, but that's not going to pay any dividends as the focus is solely on Hossie and Arctic Monkey.
They're too healthy for that to do anything before somebody else dies somewhere in this cluster over here, as Arctic Monkey tends to be the focus right now. Sticky bombs on Arctic, the healing coming off from Darkcrow, and bombs over the wall. Arctic Monkey takes significant damage but doesn't die. Asher, though, takes 2 hits from long range. That damage on, oh my goodness, stand and fight with the increased damage is enough to get it done.
I mean, everyone loves that Pierce mod, but then something like that happens. You remember there's reasons to take other mods too. With Pierce mod would not have done the trick, and a nice win coming out for sorry, what?
Yeah, that was for Vezzed, but yeah,
which means they take it all.
They have an absolute victory here. 2 very tight games, but at the end they pulled it out. Absolutely, just did everything they needed to do there. Great teamwork, great coordination, forcing the enemy team out, keeping people alive as long as they needed to. That Arctic Monkey chase around the side. I mean, what more can you say? That's one to go back and watch.
How many matches have come down to clutch Blackburn ults? It's crazy.
It absolutely is. Now, there were some Blackburn misses to offset that, too. But Blackburn definitely played a large part in wins and losses today. A lot of teams need to revisit that play and see what they liked and what they didn't.
Yeah, a character that for a while fell within a mid to low range, just making a strong showing here, but it seems like you really need to know what you're doing, as we did see some hard punishment, but they didn't quite get to pull that off even after the aggressive dash into Catalyst that Pokey fell into. Wow. I was just assuming that was going to overtime. I did not expect Atomic Edge to be the stand and fight mod that Darkblades was running, but this is someone who is very, very experienced on Asana, and I guess they're singing a different tune than everybody else, and it is a sweet one indeed.
All right, so it looks like we have the full team here, so we're going to pull them all in for a big joint interview. We've got the entirety of Vezzed here. That's Arctic, Darkblades, Pokey, and Darkcrow.
Well, you guys have to have 2 people with Dark in the name. Come on. Make it so difficult for me.
It's all right.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, great job. Do you guys know what freelancers you want your skins for? Is that already? Have you been thinking about that for the past however long?
I didn't even think we were gonna win, so I don't have that planned out yet. But
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
I mean, you guys don't need to tell me. I was just wondering if that was like something this morning. Everybody's like, "Oh, I want this one. I want that one." You know.
I mean, you already get the champion Citadel Asana, so I'm sure we can expect to see Darkblades rocking that a lot now.
And a lot of loot
He
and
has
GG
to.
boosts.
Yeah, I mean, I did not expect the extra damage mod to be what won the game right there on the stand and fight.
Oh yeah, I thought it was gonna go on a couple more turns.
Yeah, we had
That was-
no outs actually after that turn. We would have been.
It would have
Yeah,
been
we would've
tied. You would have
been-
traded kills. It would have went on for
Arctic,
like 3
I
more
asked for a
turns.
game 3. What is this?
We tried.
What?
See?
We did the worst opening of all time in second game.
That's true. That is fair. That was a rough. How did you guys handle that? Was that like, was there any panic there, or was it just like, okay, we messed up, but we can regroup?
Absolutely a lot of panic.
All of our shots missed, and we just went down to half health on our firepowers. No.
There was a moment where we had no idea what to do, but then, hey, we actually can win this. Then we got back on track.
I'm sure that's
Those
where the
Blackburn
umpteen
alts.
million games you guys have played together definitely comes back and helps out. Practice, practice, practice.
Which Blackburn ult? The first one that whiffed.
The first.
Yeah, that's the clutch one I'm
Now that
talking
was
about.
predicting Phaedra dashing, or did you
Okay, it
think
was
somebody
predict-
was where they weren't?
Phaedra, and I also thought it was gonna hit Aurora, so I thought it was gonna hit 2 people perhaps.
Were you real cocky about it? You're like, check this out, guys, and then
No, it was a panic ult for sure.
Well, it made up for that with that later double kill on the ultimate as well. That
Yeah,
definitely-
swinging back to game 1, you pulled out another narrow victory. I mean, that aggressive Lockwood or Blackburn dash that got around the cover, you guys didn't really seem like heading out that turn either. But was that one you were much more sure about?
We're much
we
more
thought
sure.
it would be a trade. Honestly,
we thought it was
they
a
would
trade.
Predict him for sure.
Everybody thought it was cover. We both were like, oh, but he's going to get the cover. It's not going to... No, wait. That's not cover. That's just far enough. Yeah, close
Yeah.
games on all of these. So, did you guys expect this level of competition coming in? Because I know a lot of people came in and put a lot of pressure on you guys as the teams. Do you expect them all to be turn 20, turn 22?
Yeah. I think the other teams are improving a lot. The meta is favoring other teams. And the other teams already know what we play best, and they just try to counter us.
Yeah, like this probe meta is something I'm not used to.